Welcome back to the channel. So in this episode we're going to change out a couple of nozzles here on my airbrushes. There's an obvious problem on one of them. So I've got a Procon Boy which is PS270, which is a 0.2. I can see that the nozzle is damaged on my actual airbrush, but I've got them the wrong way around. So this is the PS270, the Procon Boy. These are both essentially Iwata airbrushes. It's just this one's made under license for Hobby, Mr. Hobby, and Albion Alloys is where you get your extra bits. And then this one is Iwata replacement parts, and this is for the CR Revolution. So I've had this one a really long time. This is the first proper airbrush I bought, but this is a 0.5. I bought it for a different reason other than modelling, for spraying varnish actually. But now it's quite good. This is good for primers, varnishes, anything with broadcast. We need to put quite a lot of paint on, and then this is better for more detailed painting or spot priming and all that sort of thing. Now, I don't think we'll be able to see it. I don't think the iPhone's going to be capable of capturing it, but I did note it initially. Yeah, you might be able to see it there. You can see like an oval hole. It's because somehow at the bottom of this, there's a section missing. So I could see a piece of the needle in the nozzle going this way, whereas it should just be a complete seal around the needle. I wasn't getting much problem from this one actually, a little bit. The main noticeable thing you'll get is when you don't pull back, if you just push for air, you'll get spots of paint come out. If that's the case and you've got the needle pushed in as far as it will go, not rammed in, but pushed in as far as it will go, and you press for air and paint comes out, then you've got a problem with your nozzle. So that's obvious. I can see that on this one. Here, it actually looks like a really good seal around the 0.5, but it might be on the kind of microscopic level that I can't see because I'm getting very bad. I push the needle in as far as it will go, push down air, and I'll get splats of paint everywhere like that. So there's obviously not a nice seal around the nozzle to needle. Now we'll start with this one because I've done it before, so I know what I'm doing. I haven't changed the nozzle. I've taken that nozzle off a number of times to clean it. That's what I mean. Unfortunately, you don't really want to be doing this every couple of months. These are £25 each, and that was the cheapest price I could get. Right, I don't know how I don't think I'm gonna undo that to get that out because I can see that becoming a problem. I'm just gonna cut across there. There we go. Okay, now this has a specific tool which I was going to bring up. I did bring up, so we will use the proper tool. Many moons ago, this came in a case. I've got these inner seals as well, and I've had two of these. If you ever want to replace this, if you ever get the problem of paint coming up this way and getting all gunked up in here all the time, somewhere in the middle there's that. If you ever change that, do not screw it home as hard as it will go. Because you see that raised white seal? It compacts down and then you can't push the needle through. And I nearly did it with the one that's in there, and it's already... I basically had one this is the old one. And they've got like a screw section there. And then there's this one, which I've pressed just too hard and cracked it as well. So just be careful, because again, they were like, I don't know how much money, more than it should be. So you get a special little spanner, the Iwata spanner, and there's a flattened off area around the nozzle. And when it's on, and then you undo it. There should be a seal behind it. I've long since lost that seal. There should be a red seal around there. I thought this came with it. It doesn't. Now, this is a good time to clean that out in there. I usually push the needle, so with the point on the other end, and push it through, and it will clear out any gunk. And to give an example of that, I've got both needles here, and what I mean, just undo the chuck. is now there's no nozzle. You get a bit of tissue paper or kitchen roll and you push it through. If there's any crud, it will pull that out. And I've already cleaned these a bit because I was getting nervous of being on camera with filthy airbrushes. And these still aren't clean. You know, I've still got paint all over them, but they were much worse. Now, can we see down through there? Where are we? Got to remember that there we are. So that's pretty clear. And because we're dealing with 0.5, we haven't got to worry too much. You know, tiny little debris will just get blown through. So now I'm just gonna hand tighten this in. Never go too far if we don't think it's in the right place or it's stiff or whatever. Just let the thread reset again. That looks pretty good to me. So again, hand tighten as far as you can. Right, that's gone okay. And then I always just do a half twist there. With a bit of tension, that's plenty for me. Now that's in, the first thing you should do, in my opinion, is get these covers back on. Because then you're not going to damage the nozzle. So it's in there, we know it's in there, we know it's how we want it. That's good. Then we're going to get our 0.5 needle, push it in. Now I'm at that section that's stiff there. Oh, hang on, because I was cleaning them. Which bit? Which one's which? Let's go for that. I guess it's that. So this is the trigger, which has a slant, a cutout section, and that's for where you pull it back. No, it's that one. It's the other one, Jason. Right, there we go. Right, we're all clean. God, maybe do one airbrush at a time, especially if you're on camera. Okay, so now I'm through the trigger, I'm through that seal, I'm out of the nozzle, and we're in. So I put the locking nut back on. I can't get them off. So I would usually take this section off, but they're kind of fused. Now you should see there, nozzle, needle. So that needs a little bit more of a test, probably with water or something like that. So if you fill with water, make sure your needle's pushed home, obviously not hard, but make sure it's home, and then just try with air. You should hopefully not see any water come out, and then you pull back, and then you should see the water because you're pulling the needle back. Okay, and now we'll start again with the Procon boy. So this is PS270. Now, I believe this would fit on here as well because it is just an Iwata airbrush. There you go, see? If you haven't got one of these, which does come with your airbrush, flat tweezers will do it, but you need to get up like that. Even there, they're not doing it. It's not ideal, but if you use those flat sections, you can get it undone as well like that. I would only ever use the spanner if you've got it. And again, once it's started to get loose, because you might want to take the nozzle out, not to replace it, to clean it. Just be careful. Just treat it very gently because these are tiny machined parts and you don't want anything breaking or getting caught or anything like that because you could break the thread and leave it in there and then you're in a right old pickle. I'll just see if I can show you this. So the section we've got damage on is around There. But again, you should see it should be the same, and you should be able to see it. It's difficult on the camera, but there's a difference. It should be completely machined all around. Here, this side, there's a section missing. I don't know how that's happened. I couldn't even begin to guess. No idea. So, same again. Now, this is an airbrush I use a lot more. So we're just going to push through now without the point, because again, we haven't got the nozzle, and that's the only thing stopping the needle coming out. Let's see if this pushes anything out. He says this should work, but if it doesn't, don't force it. No, there's something stopping it. So that's fine. We won't worry about that. Just seeing if there's any crud there. Which there is, a load of dry bits just came out, see? Again, I'm not using any force, I'm just using this as a tool. You obviously should not use your needle as a tool. And there we go again, we're clear all the way through, pretty clean. Yep, so this is a classic of don't do what I say. The thread is stopping this go through, so never force it through. But what you can do is use it as a tool to clear this section. So you see it's coming out into the cup. So if there's any bits and bobs, you can kind of push it to one side or the other, just gently. Nothing hard, otherwise you'll bend it. And if anything then comes out into the cup, you can knock it out. Also, if you connect your air back in, you could push with high pressured air and that will blow out any extra bits as well. But because of the thread in there, and the other one was a 0.5 needle, so that was the problem. There's a lot of space in a 0.5. This is being 0.2, the thread is too tight. What you could do is this, just push the needle through as far as it will go. And again, all it's doing is just picking up any sections of crud or anything like that. It's just loosening it and will knock it out, that's all. So you take your needle out, always look after the needle, one last knock, and that's probably going to be pretty clear. So now we'll load in the nozzle. Again, be very careful. You don't want to drop this. This is machined straight into the bag, I expect, so you want to keep it all totally clean. Exactly the same principle. Again, I think you can buy the seals that go between this joint if you want to. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay. This is a tighter fit than the other one. But again, just make sure it's gone down correctly, which it has. And then one more time, we find the flat end ends. We just do until there's slight resistance. And there we go. No more than that. Again, I'd get those straight on, but for the purposes of this, we'll just bring the needle through so you can see it. And there we go. And it has picked up. There's a tiny little bit on the end of it then, which it had picked up. Locking that down. Then the cover's going on. And there we are. We can see the needle pulling back. So I'll go and test these now. These are my two main airbrushes. They're by far the best airbrushes I've got. I've also got Harder and Steenbeck Ultra and then a few cheapy airbrushes, but I have got myself to thinking if I can get these two running. This one was out of order for a long time, needing that seal in the middle, and then finding that the nozzle wasn't working. I must have damaged the nozzle in putting this seal in. Haven't found the back end either, so it's always exposed, but that's fine by me. But I just find I prefer Iwata, and I think going forward I probably will get one more Iwata, and that will get the range up and running. But there we go. Hopefully that's of interest to some of you. Let me know if I've done anything wrong or broken any rules that you really shouldn't do and show people on camera. You know, get involved down below. Let's get everyone on the right track. But that's how I would change these parts in an airbrush. And this is a regular kind of, I would expect you'd want to change out on the 0.2. You'd probably want a new needle and nozzle, depending on your amount of use, every kind of 2 to 4 years, just to keep it up and running. Because again, with the constant use going back and forward, you are going to bend it eventually. Something on a 0.5. I mean, this might have been the first change for 10 years. So they're very good investments. As always, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next video.